We've all been there, right? Drowning in a sea of tasks, feeling incredibly busy but not actually productive. So today, we're going to dig into the real reason multitasking is such a trap, and even better, what you can actually do about it.
You know that feeling, right? Where you're just running in place at work. You're trying to write a report, but your email is pinging and a team chat is lighting up. You feel super busy. But when you look back at your day, you're like, what did I even accomplish? You've stared at the same sentence for like 5 minutes straight. Well, if that sounds like you, listen up, because there's a real scientific reason for that feeling. And here's the best part. It's not your fault.
All right, here's the game plan. We're going to start with the multitasking trap. Then we'll get into this thing called attention residue. After that, we'll talk about your brain's leaky budget. Trust me, it makes sense. Then we've got 4 ways to fix it. And finally, we'll tie it all together with the real goal here, fewer contexts.
Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, the multitasking trap. This is all about why switching tasks feels so incredibly draining. We all think it's the secret to getting more done, right? But what if it's the very thing holding us back?
Yeah, this is the big one. The assumption pretty much everyone makes: multitasking saves time. I mean, it just feels like it should, doesn't it? But oh boy, the science on this tells a completely different story. Okay, so here's what's actually happening. In practice, every single time you jump from one thing to another, your brain pays a tax. It's called a switch cost. And no, it's not about money, it's a cognitive cost. It's that little bit of time and mental energy it takes for your brain to disconnect from, say, that report, and then fully load up the context for the new email. So instead of saving time, you're just burning it on the constant back and forth. So that switch cost isn't just a one-and-done thing. It leaves something behind. And that brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing: attention residue. It's basically the scientific name for that scattered, foggy feeling we all know so well. So what is it? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. When you switch from one task to another, a piece of your attention, a residue, gets left behind, still stuck on the old task. So you might think you've moved on to writing that email, but a part of your brain is literally still thinking about the numbers on that spreadsheet you just closed. You're not all there. It's like your brain has one foot in the past and one foot in the present. And this is where all those familiar frustrations come from. You know, reading a whole page and then realizing you didn't absorb a single word. That's attention residue. Making dumb typos or little errors you'd never normally make. Yup, that's it too. It's why your recall is so much worse, and why, by 4 p.m., deciding what to have for dinner feels like the hardest decision in the world. Your brain is just fried. So the big question is, why does this happen? What's going on inside our heads? To get a handle on the neuroscience of focus, we're going to use a really simple but powerful analogy. Think of it as your brain's leaky budget. The science behind this basically says you have a limited amount of what they call executive resources. Fancy term, right? All it means is that your ability to focus, to plan, and to make decisions is finite. It's not a bottomless well. You only have so much of it each day. So let's really lean into this idea. Think of your focus for the day like a cash budget. You wake up in the morning with, say, 100 focus dollars to spend. The real question is, where are they all disappearing to before lunch? Well, here's how that budget starts leaking. Every single context switch, every jump from one thing to another causes a little bit of that processing power to just leak out. And here's the kicker. That budget doesn't refill instantly. It's not like you can just go get more. It takes real rest to build it back up. And all those tasks you switched away from, they're like little open loops in your working memory, just sitting there. It's exactly like having a ton of apps running in the background on your phone, silently draining your battery. Okay, so that's the problem. We've got this leaky mental budget, all thanks to attention residue. But here's the good news, you can absolutely plug those leaks. So now, let's get into a practical plan to get your focus back. Now this is maybe the most important mindset shift of all. The fix is not to just grit your teeth and force yourself to focus harder. That's like trying to fix a leaky bucket by just pouring water into it faster. It doesn't work. The real solution is to reduce the number of switches you're making to begin with. All right, here are 4 really practical ways to do that. First up, batch similar tasks together. So instead of checking your email every 5 minutes, block out a specific time to just handle all your emails at once. Easy. Second, use fixed start and stop rituals. This can be super simple, like taking a minute to tidy your desk before you start a task. It signals to your brain, okay, we're doing this now, and it helps create a clean break. Third, go with 1 tab open per mode. If you're in writing mode, close all the tabs you used for research. Keep your digital space as clean as your mental space. And finally, number 4, use end-of-task wrap notes. When you finish something, just take 30 seconds to write down,
done with this, next step is that. It's like telling your brain, hey, you can let this go now, which helps clear out that pesky residue.
You know, all of these tips and tricks are really pointing toward one massive underlying idea. The real goal here isn't just about managing your tasks or your time. It's about completely reframing how you think about focus in the first place.
See, our default assumption is always, ugh, I just need to focus harder. I need more willpower. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? The real solution isn't about some internal battle. It's about changing your environment. The goal is not to have harder focus. The goal is to have fewer open contexts fighting for that focus in the first place.
And that right there is the big takeaway. You don't always need harder focus. A lot of the time, you just need fewer open contexts. It's not about making your brain work harder. It's about setting it up to work smarter. So the next time you feel that scattered, unproductive feeling creep in, stop and ask yourself a different question. Instead of asking, how can I focus harder? Ask yourself, how can I close some of these open tabs in my brain? Because honestly, the answer to that question can change everything.